Good afternoon and welcome to the Asian Midday Market Watch. Our guest today is Kelvin Wong, market strategist at CMC Markets. Kelvin, thanks for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure always, Brian. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Now, before we get your insights, let's take a look and see how the crypto markets are performing. We've got Bitcoin, which is at 47,862.7. It's down 0.29%. Ethereum is at 3,154.47. It's down 0.63%. Now, if we look at regional markets, we'll start with the Nikkei. It's at 27,739. It's marginally up 0.05%. But across the region, it's a sea of red. We've got the Shanghai Composite at 3,522.58. It's down 0.5%. The Hang Seng is down 1.44% at 25,324.19. The ASX 200 is at 7,482.7. It's down 0.65%. The Kospi is down 0.5%, 0.53% at 3,130. But closer to home, the SGX is at 3,105.96. It's down 0.05%. But Bursa Malaysia, however, is trading up marginally. It's at 1,579.2. It's up 0.6%. Now, Kelvin, what's your view on market performance this morning and across the region?
So if you look at the current situation right now, right, because what we have in Asia is that we do not have that kind of positive follow through from the US session overnight. So yesterday, the US session has another kind of, I would say, stellar kind of performance where the two major benchmark indices like the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 going to march up to all-time high. So that's fresh all-time high. But however, what over here in Asia over here is, it seems to me that there's a bit of cautious again coming to the market.
Kelvin, we've lost you slightly.
So one of the cautious over here, right, we could actually look at, it could be potential. Yeah, could you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Mic test. Yeah, great. Sorry about that. So right now, right, there could be a positive, negative feedback loop, right, from this morning. Bank of Korea first hiked of their benchmark interest rate to 25 basis point. So to I think it hit high to 0.75%. So it is actually the first quite a major Asia country to actually hike its interest rate. So that could create a bit of negative feedback loop into the ASEAN market, even though it's not really fundamentally related. But you know, this is how market works in the shorter term. So that could actually explain one of the reasons of this kind of a lackluster performance in the majority of the ASEAN market today in today's Asia session. And also on top of that, right, tomorrow we have another key risk event, which is the Jackson Hole, which we'll actually talk about later. So that could actually be also another driver to actually be to actually cause traders, investors to take a more cautious approach at this juncture.
Okay, I want to zoom in on the Korean interest rate hike. Now, analysts point to the fact that is a very domestically driven exercise, given the fact that there's financial risk pressuring the economy because house prices have gone up, rising household debt as well, which has come up to fairly serious levels already. Do you think that once the ASEAN markets have digested this, calmness will kind of return to the market?
Yeah, so what I foresee right now, right, it seems to be to me that the latest decision or the tightening of this monetary policy by Bank of Korea is more internally rated, means domestic to South Korea economy, rather than painting a bigger picture for the whole of Asia or even the rest of the world. So what we could see right now, right, is we definitely, at the end of the day, right, we got to have a bit of stabilization coming in, especially from the dollar. So the dollar is still the kind of a anchor or a kind of major factor to have a kind of a decision to actually see whether there will be risk on or risk off that could impact the rest of the ASEAN stock market. So as a whole, you look at the dollar right now, right, not including dollar Korea, you look at maybe dollar China or dollar Singapore. So it seems to me that on average, dollar seems to be pretty much subdued at the moment in time, rather that we start to see a spike up in the dollar strength across all ASEAN currency. So that could be a comforting factor going forward. What we could see over here is that perhaps after the dust has died off, maybe Jackson Hole has died off, market will come to realization of, hey, individual country in ASEAN Asia were actually dependent on their individual fundamentals and we call it earnings growth driver to actually drive the next stage of their performance.
Kelvin, thank you very much for your insights.
Hey, thank you, Brian.
Now, we've been speaking to Kelvin Wong, market strategist at CMC Markets on BizTech's Asian Midday Market Watch. I'm Brian Fernandez. Please check out our various platforms and like and subscribe to them. Thank you very much for tuning in.